Has life gotten off track? Are you looking for some inspiration to be a better dad? People say all the time, I'd die for my kids. Okay. But would you live for them? Actually live? Get yourself healthy? Make better choices? Eliminate distractions? Would you lead them more intentionally? Would you get sober? Take better care of yourself, physically and mentally. You'd only have to die once. Your kids don't need you to die for them. They need you to live. Have you thought about getting sober, but you just didn't know where to start? If so, welcome to the Domestic Dad Podcast, your go-to destination for candid discussions on journeys into sobriety, parenting, and personal growth. I'm Nick Barnett, founder of the Domestic Dad Project. I've been a dad since I was 18 years old. I'm also a trauma survivor, an alcoholic, divorced, happily remarried, hardworking, humbled by life, domestic dad. On this podcast, you'll find interviews with people who have walked that path, including myself, coaches, mentors, and pastors who can help guide you on your journey. You're going to need resources and inspiration. You can find that here. This is the community for you to lean into so you can start living life as a domestic dad. So let's grab a mop and start cleaning up the mess. Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to take a moment to let you guys know that Domestic Dad Project is more than just a podcast. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping fathers navigate sobriety, parenting, and personal growth. Our mission is to provide support, resources, and community for dads who want to break cycles, rebuild lives, and become the men their families need. If you'd like to support our work and help us continue to reach more fathers in need, consider donating at domesticdadproject.com. Every contribution helps us expand our programs and change more lives. So just wanted to thank you guys in advance for being part of this mission. Now, let's get into the episode. Welcome to season 2, y'all. The stakes are higher. The mess, it's deeper. And God is moving through this in a way that's different now. This isn't just a podcast anymore. It's a battleground for people's hearts. A space where chains are breaking, where shame is getting exposed, and where stories like the one that you're about to hear become weapons of spiritual warfare. And look, I gotta apologize in advance for all the remember whens you're gonna hear up front. But I can't help it because I had a front row seat to this one. I watched God take what sin had turned into ash and light it on fire for this man's soul, and it still burns today. Jay's story is one of the most powerful testimonies that I've ever encountered, not just because of how far he fell, but because of how faithful God was to lift him. He'll tell you about a Bible study that started with 5 or 6 of us. Today, that group is 30 to 40 men deep, packed with honesty, accountability, repentance, and the kind of brotherhood that only God himself could have built. And what if I told you this? That the place that God does his greatest work, it isn't on the mountaintop. It's in the dirt. The same hands that shape the stars can reach into the darkest pit and raise up a man that the world counted out. Today's episode is not just a story. It's a testimony. Jay walked through hell, lust, broken relationships, custody battles, suicidal thoughts, shame, silence. But God wasn't finished, because where the world saw a mess, God saw a message and a miracle in the making. From street life to barber life, from pain to purpose, from bondage to boldness. This is the resurrection story of a father, a friend, and now a man of God. If you've ever felt unworthy, unusable, too dirty for grace, this one's for you. Grab a mop. We're not just cleaning up the mess. We're watching God turn dust into destiny. Let's go. Jordan Finger, a.k.a. Jay the Barber.
Yes.
Thank you for blessing Domestic Dad cleaning up the mess.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it's an honor.
It's an honor for me, man.
Yeah.
It's not every day you get to do an interview with your best friend.
No. That's what's so fun about this, because you know me, like you know me. And let's go.
Okay. So, Jay.
Yes.
You know how I start them?
I watched plenty, huh?
Yeah. So tell me.
Yeah.
Where'd Jordan Finger come from? What was childhood like for you?
Childhood was good. I had 2 loving parents. They did whatever they had to do to give us a good life. It was just me, my mom, my dad, and my brother. It was just the four of us.
Yeah.
A lot of my family lived, elsewhere. So yeah, it was just us four. And my mom and dad. My dad was man, he was a grinder. And I think that's where me and my brother, the way that we work, our work ethic, and everything that we do, that's definitely from my dad. He's a provider. And my mom, that's the reason why we love the way we do. Is my mom? She has a big heart.
Yeah,
amazing woman. You met my mom, so
I love you.
She's amazing, man.
Yeah.
And then there was my grandma Carol too. You never got to meet her. She passed away.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
What are some of when you were growing up? What was it like? How tight were you and your brother? Were you guys super tight? My brother and I were super competitive growing up, and I just can remember what that was like for me. I don't know if it was the same for you.
No, we were cool growing up, but he was always the bigger brother. You know what I mean? Like I always wanted to hang out with him, and at times he ain't want nothing to do with me because I'm little bro. I wasn't cool. But we grew up in that era where we played outside all day.
Yep.
If we didn't come home when the street lights on, you hear my dad yelling, "Boys, get
you
home."
had the street light rule.
Yeah. But it was I mean, growing up, we played football outside together, baseball, all that fun stuff, but I mean, I would say we were close,
Yeah.
There was times in our lives where we kind of separated a little bit, but wasn't nothing serious, nothing happened to make it happen. It was just life,
Yeah. What were your parents like?
They were just, they were happy,
Yeah.
My mom's family moved all to Florida, and they were going to move down there. And, right before they moved, her and my dad were like, "Hey, we like it here in Iowa. Like, let's not do this." And
they were rooted here.
Yeah. And so they stayed, and I'm glad they did, because I actually like growing up here.
Yeah.
I like going to visit, my family in Florida, but I like it here. And that just made them, just better parents being here because, they had us.
Yeah.
So they focused on us. They gave us the best life they could,
Yep.
We didn't have a lot, and that's why I wanted to tell you this story about my dad. We didn't have a lot, and we liked Nike and we liked all that stuff. But my dad used to buy like some cheap like just little like matching color outfits, and then he would iron on Nike signs so we could have what other kids had, right?
You made do.
Man, he made do. And it was like, when we tell those stories now, we all laugh. And I'm like, dude, you really made it happen for us though. Like you made us feel like we had it, right? And yeah, that's who my parents were.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
By any means necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ironing them on, man. Like that's, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. What was school like for you?
Honestly, my whole life, I didn't really care for school. Like I wasn't like the A+ student, you know what I mean? Like I got by through school. But I mean, I had so many friends, you know what I mean? I think that was the only reason why I like going to school.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself like one of the more popular people when you were growing up?
Yeah.
Were you athletic?
I was, yeah. Football, basketball. We played softball growing up, though. We didn't play I didn't get into the baseball, but we got competitive softball for sure.
Were you Evansville Youth Softball Association?
That's right,
dude. Those are some of my most fond memories.
Yeah.
I even got, that was my first job, dude. Was
concessions,
concessions and chalking the diamonds.
Okay,
it was like $900 for the summer. Like I had to ride my bike down, and we lived in Maywood, so I had to ride my bike down to like every day to chalk the diamonds and get them ready.
Yeah, my brother did that too.
Did he?
Yeah. They paid him good though.
Yes.
I thought they paid him good.
I remember just calling like every night. I knew when they were making the decision as to who they were going to hire for that job. And I called John Bedard like constantly over and over and over. And he was just like, dude, we're in the meeting. You keep calling me. I'm in the meeting.
It's been a while since I heard that name. Yeah. The ball diamonds were fun. Yeah. It was something for us to look forward to, like when we had our games, and we go down there and like, even though it's just softball, man, we felt like athletes, bro. We felt like we were going out there, winning the World Series, And like I'm telling you, I used to slide home softball. I used to slide scrapes up my leg, but we were competitive though,
Yeah, it's a badge of honor to have skid marks on your leg.
Oh yeah, it hurt, but it was a badge of honor. Yeah.
Yeah, come tournament time, I remember it, dude. I remember the smell of the diamonds. I can remember like the puddles of gravel water, like around there after it would rain.
Yeah,
dude.
Stomping in them was fun too, right? When you're running the base, it just splashing up.
Dude, you take me back to like very nostalgic memories right now.
Yeah. Same. Like I didn't hear that guy's name for so long.
Yeah,
he was the guy down there. But my mom actually became the president down there.
Really?
Yeah. So she was a big part of that organization. Yeah. And then once we got done playing, she's like, I don't need to do this no more.
Yeah.
Did you play sports growing up?
I like softball as a kid, some like EYSA, obviously. Played football. I was never really good at it though. I was never like the best athlete on the team or anything else like that. I played competitively, but I was probably just lazy. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I can remember when I was in the 5th grade is when we could go out for wrestling. And I had tried like all the other sports and like I was just not very good at. I was uncoordinated, bro. Like I don't know how else to say it except for like I was just not the most coordinated kid. But wrestling, like I thrived in. I can remember I wanted to quit though, like in the first year. And I came home after school and I told my mom, I was like, hey dude, I'm done. Like I'm done. I'm done wrestling because it was hard. Yeah. It was my first experience. Like it was just one-on-one and it was hard. Yeah. And she was like, no, you started this. You're going to finish it. Yeah. And it was the best thing that she ever did for me.
No, that's good. That's good. A lot of parents don't do that. Yeah, wrestling was big in my family. Like my uncle was a coach at Barber. My dad wrestled. I wrestled. My career got cut short, though, just having a son at 16. So my career got cut short. But thank God he picked up wrestling, and is really still doing it. So he's good. Yeah, but back to your question, it seemed like sometimes like school was hard for me, Like I just couldn't focus. I wasn't in it, you know what I mean? And then, like back in school, like people think that, everybody looks up to like the athletes, the popular kids and all that. But like for me, man, I used to look up to the people that they called nerds, right? Those were the kids I looked up to. Those were the kids that I thought were cool.
Yeah, they possessed a skill that you didn't have.
That I didn't have. And I wanted that, just the way they're always 4.0 students. They got to go in the limo ride, to go get the pizza lunches and all that stuff. Like, dude, those were the kids that I thought were cool. Yeah. It wasn't the other kids, it was them.
Yeah. Any significant memories from childhood that really stand out to you?
My memory is shot, man. Not really. Like good ones. Yeah. That are like, I don't know, like going like to see real stuff like that, when I was younger. Nothing crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I was, I had like, not to bring up anything bad, man, but like when I was a kid, I had a experience. I was 5 years old. I was real young. And dude, I had ADD so bad. Yeah. Man. Like I was the kid that was over here for 2 seconds and then over here. And you had no idea how I got there. You know what I mean? And I can remember, this is the first time I've ever really talked about this on the podcast, but, my dad was like this, he was a very good softball player, lived and breathed softball. Yeah. And, when I was 5, they were all playing softball, like in the front yard. Like aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody was at the house. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they were pitching balls to people. And my dad was up and he was hitting balls off the front porch. And we had this big lot across from us. And I can remember he threw one out or they threw one out and I went for the ball. Like I ran after it, and my dad came back and swung all the way through. And at some point through the swing, like I had run in front of him and he hit me. And I had a massive skull fracture from that. And it was, I think that created a lot of like shame for my dad. And like the repercussions from that were really tough, man. But that definitely shaped me, because not long after that, like my parents, they split up.
Yeah.
And I think my dad really struggled with some of that stuff. You know what I mean? I mean,
Absolutely.
how do you go back to work the next day and say, you know, I accidentally hit my son in the head with a softball bat? You know what I mean? Yeah. It was a tough thing, and it definitely reshaped my life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I always talk about, you know, I'm a trauma survivor, and that was one of the things that was kind of like a catalyst to like a lot of the trauma that happened in my life, like post that, you know.
Absolutely.
And there were other things that shaped me, but I know anytime I talk to somebody, like typically there's something in childhood that really stands out as something that reshapes like the course of their life. And that was something for me. And I wouldn't say that specifically, but the aftermath of it and what all happened like later on, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you ever had anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I've never really shared it either. You know, some things happened to me when I was 6, and it hindered me, man, from just ever loving wholly, ever just caring about anybody wholly, right?
Yeah.
And later on in life, you know, that led me to literally like cheating on every single woman that I was ever with. I couldn't trust nobody.
Yeah.
I couldn't love nobody wholly. You know, I would tell people I love them, women, I love them, but like, let one thing happen, I'm out the door. I'll never look back. Just that moment when I was 6, you know, hindered me my whole life until I was 31 years old, man.
Yeah.
Until I, you know, it honestly was until I started seeing John Church.
Yeah.
And getting some therapy. Now I realized I had some things I needed to heal from.
Yeah.
Things that I was just, that beach ball, right? Just pushing that down.
The beach ball under the water.
Yeah.
The way that you press it under and
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to skip too far ahead with that. So yeah, what like, okay, so that happened when you were 6. And that had an impact on like your love life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened next?
Well, honestly, like, if I can just back it up though, like that, like we'll get to that, you know, that's later on. But even that moment for me, not being able to trust people, it like turned me to a different family, right? Like the streets,
Yeah.
you know, and things like that. And so at a young age, like, you know, I got involved in the streets, you know. Like don't get me wrong, man. My parents were good parents. Like any choice that I made that happened in my life, that was because of me.
Yeah.
So me going to the streets, you know, man, that led to me, you know, smoking weed. You know what I mean? And that led to me selling weed. And then that led to me like getting robbed. And then that led to me getting a gun myself. And then that's just a whole nother story, right? Because then, you know, I think at the age of 15, 16, I had my first, I got charged with robbery and burglary, 2 different charges. Just living that life, right? Someone robbed me. So we got him back, right? Retaliation.
Yeah. One of those things that comes from the enemy. Something that you have to do to get your manhood back, right?
Yeah.
Because pride.
That's what it was. It was just pride. You know, and that led to me, you know, getting locked up at a young age in the detention center. And that was,
Talk to me about that experience.
That was rough for me because one, I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. I knew that wasn't the life that I wanted. And I remember one moment. I remember it so vividly, man, because it was the first time that my mom and dad came and seen me. And mind you, my dad's a military man. You know, he's a tough guy. Grew up tough. Don't show emotions. That was the first time I ever seen my dad cry. He walked in, he sat down, they brought me in. I looked my dad in the eyes and he just cried. And I never wanted to feel that feeling again. I feel like I let my dad down. And I know he probably felt like he let me down, right? But I literally, at that moment, I'm like, I let this man down. He's over here fighting for our country. He's over here making sure that we have everything we have. And I'm out here in the streets, right? And so that was an altering moment for me. Like, I got out, was on house arrest. And that was just, I was done with that life. And around that same time, I had my son at 16. So that was also, I had to change. I had no choice. I had no choice but to change at that moment. And that was, the streets were behind me, after that. That life wasn't for me. Yeah. At all.
When you realized that the streets weren't for you, what decision did you make internally to make that change? Because I think, and this is just my opinion, I think making a change in life is one of the hardest things that you have to do. Pastor Q always says, and I think he quotes John Maxwell, change doesn't happen until it hurts bad enough that you have to. Yeah. And at that point, right? So maybe that was one of those points in your life that it hurt bad enough that you had to.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So change is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
The other one is until you know enough that you have to.
Yeah.
Or until you know enough that you want to.
Yeah.
Right? So you knew at that point that life had to change. Yeah. So what did you decide to do?
I knew a lot of those, like the people that I was hanging around in the streets, they all went to East High. And I had to make a decision, right? I didn't want my parents taking care of me and taking care of my son. So I had to make the choice to, drop out, get a full-time job, and then get my GED in the morning time. And that got me away from all that, right?
Yeah.
And I was detailing cars at Community Motors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that changed me, just being around men like that anyways, like hustlers still, but in a different, right? Slanging cars and, like it was different. So that started to mold me into like a different mindset,
Yeah.
And right after I got my GED, I went up front and talked to George Trovas. He was the head honcho up there, man. Newspaper articles about this guy, top seller of years running, right?
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, George, I don't know. He liked me. I don't know why. Like, he used to throw me his keys and tell me, go fill up his truck, give me his card, and go get us some lunch. Like, just come back to the detail shop and so we had a special bond. And I went up and I told him, I was like, I really want to sell cars. I was like, I don't want to be in the back no more. I got my GED now. I'm ready to move forward in my life. And so he said, all right. And so, I started selling cars and being around him. And when I say he's a boss, man, he's a boss, dude.
Yeah.
And he's a man. He's a real man. So like being around him was really good for my character because I couldn't talk the way I talked anymore, right? There's no going up to people and like, yo, what kind of car you want? You know what I mean? Like, hey, how you doing? Like, he changed the way I had to approach people, life.
Speak to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was really good for me. And so, I sold cars for a little bit. Then I still was, I was making money, but like, at that time, child support was crashing all my checks, man.
Well, yeah, because you had a little boy.
Yeah. And so I got back into selling weed on the side at the dealership.
Yep.
Friday, everybody gets paid. I'm just everybody wants weed, and like, so I was still doing that. And then finally, I was like, it's time to get out of here. And so I moved to Iowa City. That's when life totally changed, right? that's when I knew. That's when the streets were just completely behind me. Anything about it, anything that had to do with it was completely behind me.
Yeah, time to grow up.
Time to grow up. Yeah.
So what came next, man? What did Iowa City bring to the table?
Iowa City. This is so good, man. A new identity, right?
Because nobody knew you there.
Nobody knew me.
You could totally start over fresh. You could reshape yourself.
Nobody knew me.
Yeah.
I started working at Old Chicago. And I remember my first couple of days on the job, I had to work on the dining side. I really wanted the bar side because I wanted to, be bartending and stuff like that. But they made you go through the process. And my first couple of days on the job, I kept telling everybody, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Jordan. What can I get you to drink?" And they're like, "Gordon?" They kept calling me Gordon. So I went back to the office. I was like, "Hey, this ain't working out, man.
Yeah.
You got to change my name tag to Jay." So that's where like.
That's where Jay came
That's
from.
where Jay came from. So that's where the J, right? So that's where Jay came from. And then the rest is history, I worked there till I was about, I think 21. 21, I was down there. And then, my son would come down and see me. Jaden would come down and see me. And
how old was he at this time?
Oh, gosh, man. 5, 6 years old probably at that time. Yeah, I was 21. Yeah, I had it when I was 16. Yeah, yeah, and he was a good kid. But so this is where things start to take place, right? My life now, right? He came down to stay with me one time, and his mom was like, "Hey, take him to the barbershop." And I was like, "Okay, all right, I'll take him to the barbershop." I didn't even go to the barbershop in Iowa City. There's no one up there at the time. I used to drive back home, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy some clippers. I can do this. Easy. Oh man. I watched a couple YouTube videos and just slaughtered his haircut. There's no fixing it.
Was it?
Bro, it was bad, man. And I took him back to his mom, and she chewed my butt, man. She chewed my butt, dude. And she was like, "Don't you ever, and
you made him look stupid."
Oh man, dude.
So as a father, I feel like that's a rite of passage where you try to cut your son's hair for the first time. Because I did it to my oldest son, Zach.
Right. I ain't the only one.
And I got cussed out, dude. I did. Yeah. And that was it for me. Like, that's where I stopped. But evidently you had a little bit more resolve than what I did.
Man. Yeah. But how I'm wired, though.
Yeah.
I don't like failing at anything. I didn't like failing. So, like, having her talk to me like that, and, like, I was on a mission now. So now I started watching more videos, started buying different clippers that they were using in the YouTube videos. And the next time she came down, she goes, "Hey, take him to the barbershop." And for real, take him to the barbershop this time. And I was like, okay. I sat there and I was like, should I really take him, or I feel like I got this?
Yeah.
And back then he was just getting a short haircut all even. And I ended up giving him a good haircut. And he went back and she said, "Hey, thanks for taking him to the barbershop." And for me, that was like like, yeah. And that sparked something. So I was at Kirkwood at that time as well, going to school. And I started thinking more and more about this barbering thing, man. I really was diving. I'm like, why is this still on my head? Barbering wasn't even cool. To be a barber was not cool at 2014, 2015, whenever that was. Like, it was not cool. But I was in school one day, and in between classes, I was on my laptop, started looking up, barber schools. And so I found one, and it was in Waterloo. And so I called my dad, and shout out to him, because by him going to overseas, I got the post 9/11 GI Bill, which was free school. And they gave me a housing allowance too. And so I called my dad. I told him what I wanted to do. And this is how cool my dad is. I said, "It's $100 for the application fee. I'm just going to pay it, whatever, and go." And he goes, "If you go to barber school, I'll pay for that $100 application fee." And he did. And he told my brother as well, man, because me and my brother, the trouble, we both got a charge together when we were younger. So I was so young that I didn't get charged as an adult, but my brother did.
Yep.
So my brother got a felony, right? And so my brother had a felon. He was a felon, right? And my dad's like, "Man, listen, why don't you just go to barber school with your brother?" you know, like you can make your own money, you know. And my brother was just like, all right. And so me and him literally started the same day, went to barber school together. So a month later, I was in barber school. I left Kirkwood, moved back to Waterloo. My dad was like, hey, just live with us until you're done with school. So I did that. I got my housing. It was like $1,200 a month, which was amazing, you know, paid for my car and stuff like that. But just like how I am, outside of school, I started slanging haircuts. I'm going to cut my friend's house. I'm getting paid now. I'm like, man.
You found a new product to hustle.
Yeah.
A new skill set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had that background of, you know, just being a hustler.
Yeah.
You know? So now I'm doing it the right way. Now I got something I can do. I can make money, and it's legal.
Mm-hmm.
I won't get in trouble for this, you know. So I was leaving school, after school, going to cut hair, and then the barber career took off from there.
Yeah.
And that's where it's funny because Jay started at Old Chicago, then moving into barber school, Jay the Barber.
Jay the Barber.
I didn't give myself that name. Shout out to the people, the clients, and they were like, "Oh, that's Jay the Barber," you know. And I remember the first time someone approached me at Best Buy and said that to me. Hey, man, are you Jay the Barber? I was like, yes, I am.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. It stuck, and so it stuck. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I have to ask, were you still with your son's mom at that point in time?
Jaden's mom?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Was that a start and stop relationship? Like it was over right away, or did it kind of linger for a little while?
After she found out she was pregnant, no, it was done.
Yeah.
She treated me very poorly, man. You know, she made it really hard for me to be a dad, you know. So I just couldn't be with someone like that.
Let's unpack that a little bit.
Okay. That was a hard time for not just for me, but my family. You know, like she would keep him from, you know, me and my mom, my dad, and everybody. And then sometimes, you know, because at that point I wasn't living at home. I had my own place and everything. And sometimes she would call my mom and tell her like, "Hey, you can get Jaden. I need you to watch him for me, but Jordan can't be there." Yeah. And that
is that because of your past?
No, it was just bitter, man. Just not wanting me to be a dad, you know. And I'm not here to bash her, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to seem like I'm
but I think that's something that a lot of men go through, especially young men, when we become fathers for the first time.
Yeah.
I became a father for the first time when I was about to turn 19.
Okay.
So when my son was born, it was right before my 19th birthday.
Okay.
And I stuck with his mom for the better part of 6 or 7 years before I totally screwed it up.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. I totally messed that up. But yeah, man, like as a young man who wanted to become something more than what I was, you know what I mean? And I feel like I had this imposter syndrome my whole life, right? And that probably stifled me in one way or the other. But I didn't have the co-parent that didn't want me to be a dad. I think she wanted me to be a dad more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
So, but I do know that I've talked to a lot of men who, because of the way they grew up or the way that they were treating life at that point in time, and because of pride, because of a lot of things that that the right to parenthood was literally decided by somebody else that they were going to take it away from them.
Stripped.
And what that does to a man is tragic.
It is. It is, man. And
so how did that affect you? Did it help your relationship with women?
No. So not already trusting women.
Right.
That just added to it, right? But her doing that, like dropping her off with my mom and
removing you from the parental process.
It kind of put a weird relationship between me and my mom, you know. And it wasn't her fault, you know.
Somewhat competitive in nature almost.
But it just made it weird between us. Because like when I found out he was over there, I'm like, and she goes, well, she told me not to tell you, and that hurt, you know what I mean? But I know she's a grandma. This is her grandkids.
Yeah. She yearns for that more than anything.
If I was a grandparent, I would do the same thing. You know, I would want to see my grandkid at any means, you know. But it did hurt, man. You know, there was a lot through his life. There was a lot of time where she kept him from me for a very long time. Like there was one time where I didn't see him for 6 months. That put me in a dark place, man. You're talking my first love. This is my first love, you know, my son.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be in his life, you know, and that broke me, man. It broke me, dude. And then going through his life even more, it kept happening. It kept happening, you know. And right when things with him started getting good, you know, wrestling all the time, we're going, you know,
starting to excel.
Yep. Then she drops the bomb on me about him moving to Arizona, you know. And I told my son, I said, hey, if you want to go, you go. I want you to experience life. This is somewhere new. But if you don't want to go, you know, I'll fight for you. And of course, you know, he said, well, I want to stay, Dad. I got my friends here. I got my life here. Like, I want you to fight for me. And he's like 12 at the time, you know. He knows what he wants, you know. And so I fought, you know, and I ended up winning him and had him for the summer and stuff. And then right before he was supposed to go to school, we went back to court again, and he got stripped from me. They gave her, take him to Arizona. And that hurt, man.
Yeah, that's a serious L.
Yeah, man.
I don't know too many dads that could weather that storm.
It stung, man. It stung. And because I gave him the option, you know what I mean? Like I wanted him to choose, and that's what he chose, so I fought, you know. And I thought I had a chance, man, because he wanted to stay, you know. I thought I had a chance, and then when it got stripped, it was like, dang. But when he moved down there, you know, I was going to see him for a little bit, and you know, it was nice. It was going down to Arizona. It was like a vacation, getting away. And then somewhere along that line, man, she just cut him off from me completely. And I think that was like the last straw for me, bro. That one hurt, bro. That one completely broke me as a man, bro. That time, it felt like I lost my son. You know what I mean? That I never felt like depression or any of those things like that. But that, bro, that was one of the hardest things I ever had to go through, man. Like, to the point where, bro, I just didn't even feel worthy, man. I'm like, I can't, like, it's my son, man. You know, and it started to, you know, I had other kids at that time too, you know, and it started to affect them because I was so caught up in this.
Yeah,
I'm hurting. I'm not present, you know, and then it got to the point where, you know, I just didn't even want to be here no more. Seriously, it hurt so bad that I was just like, this is it, man. I don't want to feel this no more, man. You know? And that wasn't like me, bro. You know? It wasn't like me. And you know, it got to that point where I was here we go. Where I was sitting outside my gym and I had my gun in my hand. And I was with my youngest boy's mom at the time. And I texted her. This is a selfish text too. I just said, hey, I said, make sure my son knows I love him. And she just, you know, she just kept calling me. And finally I answered and she goes, hey, listen. I know I can't change your mind because if you already have your mind set, I can't change your mind. But let me tell you this. Imagine Oakland growing up and finding out what you did. And then someday when he's going through a rough time, he think
that being a viable option.
He think that's his way out. And I sat there for a minute and I cried, bro. And I just said, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. And the next day, that gym, I wasn't my gym at the time, but that gym, I ended up going to get a membership the next day. And I like worked out like every single day. And so that's how I eased my pain, was through working out. You know, that's how I got through the next 2 years of not talking to him and seeing him, man. It was rough. But I had to fight those urges. Those urges came back up again, you know, just because it's not like you try to keep yourself busy to like not think about, like I tried to keep myself busy to not think about him.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah. I don't know what that's like. That had to be so hard for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It made me feel so little, like not worthy, you know?
Yeah.
Not
But
even,
to have, but because that was the decision of his mother at the time. Now I know you said you had some, like there was some trust that was broken or something happened early on in life. What that could have done to like all of your relationships with women at that point in time is like, you can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So did that play a role in like your relationships moving forward?
Yeah.
After that happened?
Yeah, it did. Cause like I said, I couldn't trust, right?
Right.
Which led to me never being all in.
Yeah.
You know? So like I said before, like anytime something happened, I would just leave, you know? And, you know, that led me to having, you know, 4 different kids with 4 different women because of some childhood trauma I had, and then some trauma I had with my son's mom, you know? Yeah. Cause it was easy to leave. It's easier to leave than to face, you know, your problems.
What's hard?
It's easy.
Yeah.
Just walk away, right? But a real man faces them, you know? And I was a little boy, man.
I'm glad that you said that. A real man faces them.
They do, man.
Yeah.
Head on.
Yeah.
You know?
Be the buffalo, right?
Yeah, right into the storm.
There's a story. How does that story go?
When a storm is coming, cows run from the storm, and eventually the storm catches up to them and they go through it anyways. And it takes
over and over and over again, right?
And a buffalo runs straight into the storm and they get through it quicker. Just head on, straight through the storm. Yeah. Be a buffalo.
Yeah. So dads, be the buffalo.
Be the buffalo.
Face the problems head on.
Yeah, don't run from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talked about the gym.
Yeah.
You talked about that being a catalyst to
Yeah, let's reel it back a little bit.
Yeah.
To my barber career.
Yeah.
A little bit. I feel like we kind of skipped over that. We talked about it then, but so my barber career, I got recruited to Cedar Rapids from Chris Kraus, one of my good friends. He was the man when it came to the barbering. Like, to me, he was, you know. He had one of the biggest shops down in Cedar Rapids, and so he recruited me down there. So I went down there, started working down in Cedar Rapids right out of barber school. I had a plan, you know. I had my plan. I knew what I was doing. And that was good, man. That shop was so busy. So busy, dude. But I remember trying to build a clientele. You know, I had my business cards and stuff, you know, everybody has them. And I was going to like Walmarts and Targets and handing them out and getting kicked out. You know what I mean?
Quit soliciting on our property.
Yeah. You can't do that. I didn't know that. But so and one time I got kicked out by my own client. Hey, Jay, man, you can't be doing this here, man. Like, I'll give me some. I'll hand them out. And I was like, all right, here. And so that was that's the difference though. Like when you're trying to build a clientele and you know, with the career that I have, like you have to put in the work, you know. So I was willing to, you know, and then after that, like, you know, we were busy all the time, you know, and that shop had unlimited walk-ins, you know, it was like a walk-in shop too. So we just had unlimited walk-ins too. And And then he opened up 5 Seasons, and he asked me to come over there with him. And so I went over to 5 Seasons. That was his other shop in Cedar Rapids. And,
Yep. I remember hearing like commercial ads about 5 Seasons in Cedar Rapids. So that was a big time shop, wasn't it?
We were killing it.
Yeah.
We were killing it, man. And we were on the other side of town, you know. The men's room was kind of in the hood, you know what I mean? And so, but we had doctors, we had people from the hood, we had everybody, man. And that's why that shop reigned. And that's why it's still reigning to this day. They moved it over on First Ave. So anybody in Cedar Rapids had a men's room in Cedar Rapids on First Street. But that shop is now huge. I think they have like, it's a barbershop and a tattoo shop, you know. But 5 Seasons, we were killing it. And then it got to the point where me and him were like, hey, like, let's do one together. Where you want to go? And we thought about North Liberty, Iowa City and stuff like that. But I was like, man, I just want to go back home. I want to get back home. I was driving down to Cedar Rapids every single day. And I ended up moving down there. But it was just kind of lonely. You know what I mean? Like, because I would see my kids on the weekends. I'd come back and see them.
Yep.
It was lonely, man.
And that's hard, dude.
Yeah.
That's hard. There's I can seeing your kids just on the weekends. That's difficult because all the little things that they're going through throughout their life that you're not able to like show up for and be a part of. And you're just hearing about it like secondhand and like you're hearing the stories about their life. Oh, guts you.
Well, then you try to find things during the week to fill your time. So you're going out having drinks. You're after work, you're getting off at 10 o'clock. You're going out to the bar that sells food,
drugs,
women, everything. Yeah. So that's what that led to. But coming back to Waterloo was the best thing that ever happened. So we had that shop until a year, and then we ended up splitting up, and I ended up going and doing my own shop. And that's where I met Alex Vance. He's head honcho in the tattoo world, man. He's good. He's good, man. And so I went over, and he was doing some tattoos on me next door to the shop downtown Waterloo. He was doing, we were on Sycamore Street. He was doing tattoos next door. And I was over there getting tattooed one day, and I just told him, I said, man, why don't we just open up a tattoo barbershop? And Alex laughed. That's how he thought I was joking until I came to him, and I had told him, I was like, I found a shop. I found a place. And he was like, oh, you're serious, man? I said, yeah, let's partner up, man. So we ended up making it happen. We ended up opening up a shop on the hill in Cedar Falls. It was a tattoo barbershop. It's called The Finishing Touch.
Yeah.
And that shop was so cool, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of my favorite shops. And then
what made it your favorite?
The atmosphere.
Yeah.
It was busy. I like busy. You know, the shop was busy. The tattoo shop was busy. You got people walking up and down College Hill. You know what I mean? At nighttime, me and Dino at the time that was working with me, he was one of my barbers there. They would have the taco truck out across the street at Bonnie's. So we'd get off at 11 o'clock at night and go eat the taco truck because the taco truck was there till like 2 in the morning, the bar closed, you know. So it was just fun. It was a fun time. But it was a time that like I was like I started like going out up there after work and stuff. Like,
yeah, you were successful. You were making money.
Yeah.
And you have freedom.
Yeah. And I was trying to get away and go have some drinks, you know what I mean? Like running, because the relationship that I was in at the time, you know what I mean? It felt like I was just trying to stay away from the house, you know what I mean? So I would like go up and have some drinks and stuff. And I was around all young people. Like all my barbers are young. Got them all fresh out of barber school. So I'm around a bunch of young people. They're all turning 21 and all this stuff. And so, yeah, man, that shop was, I have core memories there, man. Like real core memories, man. That was fun. But then fast forward, we ended up needing a bigger spot, and they were trying to raise our rent. So I moved us over by Buffalo Wild Wings, and I did a whole build out on that. And the people that were taking over my shop were the vape shop next door. So they gave me grace to do a whole build out on my shop, move out, and then they would take over.
Yeah.
So they gave me grace, man. And it was like, it was a blessing, man, because I had so much work to do, man. A whole build out from framing, plumbing, you name it. I had electrical. I had to do everything, man. And then got everybody moved over there. And then my brother said he wanted to come back home. He was cutting in Cedar Rapids. So he started working at 5 Seasons after, like right before I left.
Yeah.
And he worked down there for 3-4 years, you know what I mean? And then he was like, man, I really want to come back home. I didn't have any spots at my shop over there. They were all full. And so I was like, you know what? I've been looking at a spot over in Waterloo. It's next to LJ's on Kimball. And I was like, let's if you come home, we'll open the shop, but it's gonna be me and you, like in there every day. I have nobody else that I can hire right now. You know
Yeah.
what I
So
mean?
in order to make it work,
It's me and
from a
you.
financial standpoint,
Me and you are taking care of this. You know?
Yeah.
And they always say your first business will fund your second one. So for a little while, that you know, Untitled, Finished Touch, I changed the name to Untitled, but that shop was kind of funded the second shop for a little bit, and then that shop just kind of took off too. And that one was called the Valley Barber. Yeah, that one was fun. Yeah, because coming back to Waterloo, where I'm from, you know, so that one kind of meant a little more, you know, just because I was from Waterloo. But yeah, just fast forward, that shop got full, and then it started this having my own studio, man. Started coming on my heart a lot, man. Just kind of being on my own, you know, and so I sold off Untitled, sold that shop off. It's been over two and a half years, 3 years now.
Yeah.
Sold that shop off, just working at the Valley. And then I remember one day just coming to work. I was on my way to work and I was like, man, I'm done. You know what I mean? I was like, I want to worry about me. My whole career, I had to worry about everybody else. You know, I had all these barbers I had to worry about. You know, the tattoo guys, you know, they had their own stuff going on. I had to worry about that. And I was just like, I was ready for me. I was ready to pour back into me, right? And so I walked in the shop one day. I sat Sophia and my brother down and I said, hey, I'm selling the shop. The question is, who am I selling it to? You know, and they both were like, oh, well, we want to buy it. And so we discussed the price. They took it. And then like a month later, they own the shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So that was, and then I ended up finding my shop in Cedar Falls. You know what I mean? Open up my own studio. But what's crazy is in that time, you know, this is where it gets good. In that time of me wanting to open my shop, so like months before, I started getting very curious. I started getting very curious about God. And that was around the same time me and you met.
So yeah, that was July. That was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
That was almost a year ago in July.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember coming into your shop because I had gone to Untitled.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I remember I knew who you were.
Mm-hmm.
You're hard to miss, by the way. You're covered in tattoos. You drive a truck that says, like, it has the logo of the barbershop on there. And our kids went to the same daycare.
Very proud. Yeah.
And I had gone to Untitled. I got my hair cut a couple of times, and in like on a whim, I came into your shop, the Valley, which because it was close. And by the way, I experienced the same stuff trying to cut my own hair, and most of the time, I was bald because I tried to cut my hair and tried to fade it, but it just didn't work out. And over the course of like 10 years, I kind of figured out how to cut my own hair.
Yeah.
But I think there was a time where I had to go on a business trip or I had to do something. And I was like, I got to get a real haircut.
Yeah.
And I stumbled into your shop and you got an appointment? And I was like, no, but I want you to cut my hair. Can you cut my hair? And you're like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah,
I can do it.
Yeah.
And we started talking, and I think I was in the book of Romans at that time, and we were talking about something pertaining to change, right?
Yeah.
And I was really big on change at that time. I was volunteering over at Momentum or at One City United. They've got a program called Momentum, and I had just finished up like a keynote speech that I was delivering to their graduates for their big graduation for one of their terms.
Yeah.
And I was really big on change. And one of the things that I had gotten out of the book of Romans was, I believe it's Romans 12:2, when he talks about, Paul talks about not conforming to the world, but allowing God to transform you. And that's where real change happens, because you can test whether it's good and real, right? And I mentioned Romans 12:2 to you, and I saw your eyes, dude. They were like, you went, hey, so like you read the Bible and stuff,
yeah.
And I was like, honestly, man, like it's a huge part of my life. I've just like I've gotten into it, like, and we talked about my sobriety journey and things of that nature. And I feel like you were just like, dude, I love that. You know what I mean? And I was getting ready to do, it was such a wild time in my life because God was working so much in my life. And I started sharing some of this stuff with you. I was like, listen, I decided to get baptized in May. And me and my wife have been trying, like I got sober a couple years ago. I was sitting in church 2 years sober on the anniversary, and I decided to get baptized, and I'm about to go and record my baptism video. And I knew, I didn't share this with you at the time, but I knew that like my wife and I were pregnant after 4 years of fighting infertility.
Yeah.
And in that 4 years, we had battled and we had done like everything that like science can offer in how to get pregnant. We had spent all the money. You know what I mean? We had done all the things, and I had put it in God's hands. And for 6 months, we were still trying. And it wasn't until I had gotten like to the point where I'm like, I'm ready to get baptized. And I was sharing this with you. And I think it was in June. It was in June. And you were like, dude, when are you getting baptized? And I was like, why are you asking me that? And you're like, cause I'm going to come. Cause I'm going to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. So you and Jesse show up at my baptism.
Yeah.
And Jesse had been bugging me about going to work out with him, right?
Yeah.
And one of my things was like, I was like, hey man, you come to church with me, I'll come work out with you. You know, like that was it. And I knew that you two worked out together like every day, right? Because he had been chirping at me like, hey, you should come with me and my boy Jay, you know? And I was like, all right, whatever. So you guys came, and then I ended up going to the gym with you, but you came and watched me get baptized, man. And that meant so much to me. And it was from there that our friendship like really spawned. You know what I mean? Like there was a true friendship there because you were interested in that, you know, and I felt like you were somebody that I could talk to God about. And eventually I came to the gym in the morning, and man, it just really took off from there. And I can remember being in the gym and hearing like other guys talk about like women and all their like things that they had done with these women and stuff like that. And I can remember like a lot of the guys were in there, and I'm not going to name any names or anything, but like some of those guys were just in there like listening to what I would call trap music or whatever. And I was like, just so you guys know, like I listen to worship music, you know what I mean? And I hate I have all those stories that I can share, but it's not good for me. You know what I mean? And you were like, yeah, you know what? You're right. And Jesse was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah. We're going to listen to worship music when we're in here. Yeah. And there was like a real change, and it became, and then we started, you pulled me one day and you were like, hey, before we work out, let's pray.
Yeah. That was on day one.
Yeah.
That was day one.
On day one, you're like, hey, we're going to pray.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the first thing that you remember what you said. You remember the prayer?
Go ahead. I want to hear you say it.
God, we did it our way. We tried to do it our way.
Yeah. Didn't work.
But it didn't work. So here we are.
Now we're going to what?
Now we're going to do it your way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a real pivotal moment for me, man.
Yeah.
Because I was speaking these words out loud now.
Yeah.
I wasn't just carrying them on my heart.
Well, it says in the Bible, where two or more are gathered in my name, the Holy Spirit is there.
Absolutely.
And I really feel like, even though like I was well on my way.
Yeah.
I had been baptized. I had sought therapy like from a biblical counselor. John, I'm gonna give John Church another shout out because I love the guy so much. You know what I mean? I mean, that dude saved my life. But
amazing.
I had gotten sober. I had fixed my marriage. I had repaired a lot of the relationships in my life, and the Holy Spirit was truly working in my life, and He brought me true brothers to like chase God with.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it was and I can remember that I really started to feel the Holy Spirit working in my life, and then to see Him start working in you guys' life, specifically yours.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to share about that time in the sauna when we were sitting there, because every time we would work out, we would jump in the sauna afterwards, and it would just be us. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some days there would be more than us, but like on other days it was just us. And I remember one day it was just us.
Yeah, you go ahead. Because I remember it was just me and you that day.
Yeah.
And I came in, and you could tell something was heavy on me.
Yeah. And I knew that you were battling something.
Yeah.
And I had shared a lot of the stuff that I had battled with you.
Absolutely.
We don't need to jump into all of that stuff, but there was I knew that you were heavy.
Yeah.
That day.
You remember what I said to you that day?
Yeah, I do. But I think it'd be better coming from you.
I think I just I got to a point where I was just so tired of myself, right? I was so tired of the way I was moving through life, the way I was treating women, just all these things, bro. And I remember stepping into that day and like I think you asked me, like, hey man, what's up, man? And I just being the relationship that we built, at that moment, I was like, this is where it all changes, right? Like, and I just told you, I was like, I need to grow up, man. I said, I for real need to grow up, man. Here I am just trying to do it my way through life, bro. It ain't working. And that was a pivotal moment for me. That was like a real moment where I realized who I was and I didn't like who I was. And I really needed to grow up, man. And things changed that day. Things were different after that.
You got a clear path forward.
I started chasing God, man.
Yeah.
And you were a big part of that, man. And so I have to give you your flowers, man. But for real though, man, I appreciate who you are for me, bro.
Yeah.
Like God, I truly, I told this to my woman. I feel like God handpicked you and put you in my life, man. God knew what I needed at that time, and it was a real brother, man. It was a real brother in Christ, right? And once you stepped into my life, bro, like that God started moving, and that was him working through you. That was you stepping in and being the light, right? In a lot of our lives, man. There's other men around me, not just me, that started chasing God after you came into our lives, man. So I got to give you the flowers for that, man.
Yeah.
That's real love, man. And this is what it's like to, you mind if I share?
Yeah, go for it.
I gotta share this, man, because this is what it's truly like to have godly friends, man.
What was going on in your life?
I had just lost my grandma.
Carol,
yeah. And I remember that day because that was the first person that I lost that was close to me. I lost other family and stuff. Yeah, it was sad, man, but that was the first person that I lost that was close to me, man. And it really hurt my dad, because she was battling dementia and stuff like that. And my dad was there for her, and but that was that day, man, was hard of her funeral. Like, everybody was calling me and stuff and I didn't answer. And this is what it's truly like to have godly friends, man. Can I play this quick?
Yeah.
I don't even know if you...
Oh, you're going to play the... Yeah.
Yeah. This is what it's like to have godly friends, man.
Hey, my brother, it's me. And I know today is going to be a hard day, man. So I just wanted to say a prayer for you. So here we go. God, please watch over my brother Jay today as he goes through the funeral and burial of his grandmother, Carol. We just pray for him and want you to wrap your arms around God, give him your strength, give him your peace, give him the clarity to know and the wisdom to know that she is with you now, Lord. She's with you up in heaven, and you're with her, and you're also with my friend Jordan. And just watch over his whole family, bring them closer together in this time, and just watch over all of them. And then just grant them all your peace and clarity, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen. Jay, I love you, bro. So.
That's what it's like having godly friends, man. Yeah. You showed up for me when I didn't want no one there, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure people were beating on your door and calling your phone and sending texts and trying to check on you, man. But I wasn't going to do that day. I knew that it was heavy, and I know what I'm like in those in those situations, and I feel like I knew you well enough to know that you didn't want to talk on the phone.
Yeah,
you just might need to know that that somebody was there for you.
You know what was different about that day though? Leading up to that, I was very sad. You know, I was sad for my dad. But where I was going with my faith, having people like that in my life, leaving me a voicemail like that. When I see my grandma in that casket, it made me realize one thing, right? My grandma was a holy woman. My grandma was definitely going to heaven. And I knew where I was heading to. So I knew I was going to see my grandma again. And faith did that for me. God did that for me. Real Christian, godly friends did that for me that day, right? So was I sad? Yes. But at the same time, like knowing that I'm going to see my grandma again, next level.
Yeah. 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 And it was at that point, man, that like I knew where you were at. And I just wanted you to know that I was there for you and I loved you. And that's what it was, man. And you know what's so crazy about that, man, is you were close with your grandma. And her name was Carol, and I have a very, very close Carol in my life.
Yeah.
My Aunt Carol, she's still to this day, she'll call me her special angel. And my daughter, her name is Mila Caroline. Yeah. And that was kind of an homage to my Aunt Carol. She was so special to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that was is what it is, man. That's what happens when you have godly friends. You say prayers for each other, dude, especially in troubled times. And that's what real brotherhood is. So,
yeah.
Real brothers in Christ, that's what we do for each other.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But I mean, even so fast forward now.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's get into the good stuff now.
Yeah. Come on.
I decided to get baptized.
Yeah.
Just where everything was moving.
Yeah, we have been going to church together at that point, right? Like
dude, we were deep. We were deep at church, man. We were a whole row deep. At our Prairie Lakes, and it was
a row. I think there was 2.
Yeah,
there might have been 3 at one point.
So we were deep, man. And I remember asking you. I was telling you I was getting baptized. I asked you, and you said that you could dip me in the water.
Yeah.
And so, so fast forward, we all, me, Jesse, Steven, his daughter, and Dom, we all decided to get baptized together on the same day. And yeah, man, you were in the water with me.
Yeah.
You were in the water with me, bro. Like you dipped me, bro.
Do you
got special privileges in my life. You dipped me in the water, bro. You dipped me, man.
So we have an inside joke with the rest of our friends. Can't call Jay Jordan unless you like whatever, you know. And one day I was in the gym and I was like, hey Jordan, and you looked at me like, hey. And I was like, hey man, I'll dip you in the water, dog. I can say whatever I want. I call you whatever I want.
That's good, man. That's good. That's good. But
yeah.
Do you remember? So obviously I got baptized on a Sunday. Do you remember that moment I had the next day?
Yeah, I do, because it was on. You know what, man? When you go through something like as intimate as that together, you kind of get an inclination when you might need each other.
Yeah.
And I felt like I needed to call you.
Yeah.
Was it the very next day?
Yeah.
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 It was the next day, and we hadn't talked, didn't go to the gym, and yeah.
I think I went to the gym.
Oh yeah, I think I didn't go to the gym. You probably did.
I just need to put that out there. But yeah, you called me. It was a Monday. You called me. And I think the next day we had breakfast with Pastor John
Fuller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With John Fuller. Was it that Monday or was that Tuesday?
It was on Tuesday.
Yeah. So that Monday, that Monday is where that whole day I had that like freak out moment. And you called me, man, out of nowhere.
Well, you were going through something. You want to tell them what you were going through? This is normal for I don't know if it's normal. What you were experiencing was significant, though.
It was the best way I can explain it was just like the pressure, right? The pressure of being a good man, being a good father, being a good significant other, like that, like those things, like I was freaking out, man. Like,
well, you knew how you used to live your life,
Yeah.
and now there's all this pressure
yeah,
to live your life in a different way.
I had an outward, you know, like I expressed myself by getting baptized, you know, and in front of thousands of people that day, you know what I mean? Like that was like, so the next day it was just like, it was heavy, man. It was heavy. Like I started asking myself, like, man, can you really do this?
Yeah.
Are you really in?
Yeah.
You know? And I had all these, like, and yeah, and you called me. Yeah. You called me and kind of talk me, you know, talk me down off the ledge, man. Like,
Well, I had experienced the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd gone through some of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Because I remember how I used to live my life, and it was and I know I've shared this before, but I'll share it again because I think it's important. There's a story of a guy standing in the middle of a field, and in that field is a fence, and on one side of the fence is Satan, and on the other side of the fence is God.
Yeah.
And the guy's experiencing both of them. He knows how hard it is to live with God.
Yeah.
And he knows how easy it is to live with Satan. As a matter of fact, Satan will come to you every single day of your life as a Christian. It actually gets harder when you become a Christian, when you become a full-fledged outward Christian. Baptism is a sign, it's an outward expression of inward growth.
Yeah.
Right. And what will happen after you get baptized, this is true for anybody that takes their baptism very seriously, as I know that you did, because we talked about it at length. Satan will come to you and he'll be like, hey man, here's an opportunity for you to slide. Right? Here's another opportunity. You come with me. Come on. I'm going to make it easy on you. I'm going to give you women. I'm going to give you money. I'm going to give you all these things, but you gotta be over here on this side of the fence with me. Right? Come on over to this side of the fence. And in this story, the guy looks at both sides and he kind of chuckles and he goes, nah, I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to stay right here in the middle. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sit right here on this fence. And as he does, everything goes dark. And out of the darkness comes Satan. And he grabs the guy by the arm and he starts to yank. And the guy goes, no. I didn't choose you. I chose a little bit of God and a little bit of you. This is the human condition, right? I'm a believer, but I'm still going to sin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we all make that choice, right? We all have the opportunity to make that choice. And some of us decide we're going to be Christians, but we're still going to sin.
Yeah.
As does this guy in the story, right? But when he does, everything goes dark and Satan starts to consume his life. And as a matter of fact, he comes over and he gives him a yank. And the guy says, no, I didn't choose you. I chose a little bit of God and a little bit of you. And Satan leans in to the guy and whispers in his ear, that fence you're sitting on, it belongs to me. And I think I shared that with you that morning. And it's a good example of, you know what you have to do. You know right from wrong now. You've been made new in God's image and you're on God's side. So stay off the fence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
And I believe, Jordan.
Yeah.
I can say that. You guys can't.
Yeah.
I believe that you have stayed off the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've made some significant changes in your life.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to that studio and what inspired that studio of yours. And I'll let you take that because I know what you told me. You were like, man, I want to listen to the music that I want to listen to. I want to talk about the things that I want to talk about. Right. And I want to do that in a place where I feel comfortable to do that. Yeah. And I need to be on my own.
Yeah. Yeah. So leading up to me selling the shop, man, I just started realizing my heart was changing. And I started realizing like nothing wrong with the people in the shop, but it just wasn't my scene anymore. And that really sparked something in me. Like it's time for a change.
Yeah.
A change of scenery. And that's when I had told you like, hey, I'm gonna open my own studio. And obviously you're always the question guy. Hey, and I'm like, well, I really want to have a space where I can do what God is calling me to do, you know, to be a good disciple, right? To talk to other men about God, right? Like when you walk into my shop now, like, you know, some days it's R&B, but 70% of the time it's worship music, right?
Yeah.
And
Elevation worship.
Yeah, elevation worship. And
Brandon Lake.
Yeah, all of them. But what I've noticed though, Nick, since opening the shop, so before opening the shop, I had our men's group, Powered by Him.
Yep.
A group that we all started. I had everybody come in, and before I put that tile up on my station, the hexagon tile, I had all you guys write a Bible verse. And I tell you what, man, when men walk into that shop, it feels like a safe place, right? It feels like a place that it feels holy in there, man. It really does. Every time I walk in, I'm like, man, this place is anointed. Like God is really in here. How we prayed over the shop, how we did all, like I've talked to more men about God in that shop than I ever have in my whole life, right? And God is really, really working through me right now, right? And it's part of my life now, man. You know, wake up, read my Bible, get the good word in. I ask God every day. I say, hey, God, if there's something I'm doing wrong, show me. Break my heart for what breaks yours. If there's men that get in my chair today that need you, give me the right words to, you know, speak through me, God. Use me as a vessel. Like I say this every single day. And every single day, some guy gets in my chair and is curious about God or on his way or already in it. And just, it is wild. And I've gotten to know some of my clients on like an intimate level now, man. Like I got to hear some of their stories, man, and testimonies, and shed some tears with some clients, man, in my chair. And it's special, man. And I see what God's doing in my life. I see what he's doing in that shop now. And he's using me, man. I asked for it, you know, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
Like, he's really doing it. So that's what really sparked me, you know, getting my own private studio. And it's going exactly how I wanted it to go. It's going exactly how God wanted it to go.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
How he wanted to use me, how he wanted to use the shop, he's doing it, you know. And he's blessing me with, you know, I get to make money and stuff to take care of my family. But
hey, nowhere in the Bible does it say don't make money.
Right.
You know,
right. But I really feel like lives are being changed now. You know, I'm doing what God set me out to do. You know, I'm in His Word. I'm able to talk to guys now like, well, hey, you know, Jesus said in the Bible, it said, you know, and I catch myself doing that, and I'm like, whoa. You know, like he's working through me, and
that's it. Yeah, that's eternal wisdom, though.
Yeah.
And when you can correlate eternal wisdom that's found in the Bible that comes from God, I mean, there's no way around it. Yeah. Like the Bible was written by man, but through God touching their lives and their stories, right? And that wisdom, when you can share it and correlate it to what somebody's going through in their life. Just go read the book of Romans. I mean, read about Paul in the Bible, in the New Testament. I mean, there's so much in there. And when you can give the credit to God for the advice that you're giving to people, because it makes so much sense, it just hits harder for everybody, because it's not what you say. Mm-hmm. It's what God's given you to say. Yeah, exactly. And it's my favorite part about being a Christian. Yeah. I don't hand out free advice to anybody anymore. I make sure that they're asking me for advice, right? But as a father to a 22-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 5-year-old, and now an infant daughter, I am equipped with eternal wisdom. Let's go. To bestow upon those kids. Yeah. You know, it took me until I was 39 years old to really solidify my faith, right? And that's growing up Catholic, being taught theology class, going to church every Friday. It still didn't set in. So, guys, if you feel like your faith is tested, or if you still wonder if it's real or not, I'm here to tell you that it is, and that there is still time to open up that Bible, because here's how it was explained to me. one of my spiritual mentors, Rich Nesbitt, by the way. I'm going to give him a shout out. I love that guy. I still talk with him. We still meet for breakfast every Friday. He told me, he said, "Hey, Nick, you know, the Bible is God's word, right? He gave it to us, and you're supposed to receive it whenever you receive it.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to mean something to you. And it's unique to you. The way that you read it and when you read it is unique to you and your life. And he already knew when you were going to read it. It took me that long to crack the Bible open and go and read it throughout a year.
Yeah.
Right. But everything that I've gotten from it has been true and it's only solidified my faith.
Amen.
And what it's given me in terms of tools for parenting. I was sitting I was in the liquor store one time buying non-alcoholic beer, by the way. And one of the clerks there was talking to me about, she said, you know, they don't write a book on how to be the perfect parent. And I was like, oh, I think they do. I think they do. I think there is one. She goes, oh yeah, what's it called? I said, it's called the Bible. You know, and she was like, I've never read that. I was like, well, you give it a try and you might figure out some lessons in parenting that you can bestow upon your children. Right. But being a Christian, being an outward Christian, and being able to school my kids in what God has taught me in my life has given my children like a superior advantage. And I know that you share with me about how you and your kids worship together in the car all the time.
Yeah.
And what kind of an impact that's been making on them.
Yeah. We only listen to worship music now. You know, God is at the center of our lives, you know.
Yeah. They say John Church told me one time, he said, Nick, you're either connected or you're drifting. And you know when you're drifting and you know when you're connected because fruit shows up in your life from living on the vine. And I'll tell you what, more fruit has shown up in my life since I've been connected.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And the thing is, when you are plugged in with God, and say you are veering off that path a little bit, even just like the smallest things, right?
Yeah.
In your head, you cussed out that guy that pulled out in front of you, or just the littlest things. Like if God is, if you're feeling those convictions, right? Like God's working on you.
Yeah.
It's those times like when you do those things or you are just straight up sinning and you can just go to sleep. Somebody else has a hold on you. And I won't speak his name.
Yeah.
But if you're still feeling that conviction, God, he has his hand on you.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that's helped me, man, with my relationship with God is, and I meet with Pastor Q. He's the head pastor over at Hope City. That's the church I go to now.
Love Pastor Q.
Amazing. You had him on here too, man. He's been discipling me for a while on Mondays, man. Just meet with him is really, he's amazing, dude. He's changed my perspective on so many different things. But one thing that stuck with me that he said, and I think he said it in our men's group too. When you talk to God as the Father he is, like a father, it changes everything.
Changes the dynamic of the conversation.
Of the relationship, right?
Yeah. If you talk to him like he's this made up being in the sky that you're asking for wishes from, he's not a genie in a lamp.
Oh man.
No, he's your father.
He's a good father. And ever since I started talking to him like a dad, it's easier to pray. It's easier to connect with him, right? Even on those days where you're just like, dude, there's days where, I mean, we're not perfect, Nick. There's those days where we're feeling like we wake up and we're feeling anxious for something. We're feeling maybe a little angry about it. It's different now, right?
Yeah.
I ask him, I say, God, there's something going on here. Just show me. I'm ready. I'm ready. Just show me whatever the lesson is in this right now, whatever you need me to learn, like just show me. I'm ready for it. Instead of going about my day, like I just pray to him first instead of just feeling those feelings and going about my day. Because those feelings will transpire through your day. They'll get, something else will make you mad and now you're angry. Now you're whatever. But when you just give it to him and tell him like, hey, it's all right. Like, I know you got a lesson in here for me. I know you won't let me go through nothing that I can't get through because I have you on my side now. Yeah. And it's different now. Yeah. We always say that.
Yeah. It's just different now.
It's just different now.
Well, I'll go back to this. And Pastor Q is really good. And he brought this to me. He said, you have eternal focus. And when you have eternal focus, you know that if there's something that he wants for you or that you want for yourself, and it's good, he'll bring it to you.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be obedient and you have to trust that he'll bring it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have patience
Mm-hmm.
to give him the time to sow everything together in your life to get you there. But you have to do the work and be obedient in order to do it. Case in point, I wanted to have a daughter for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I tried everything in my power, but I was an alcoholic. I had broken relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a good friend. I was falling short as a father. But when I became obedient, on my darkest hour, God showed up for me. And in that moment, I was ready to end my life.
Yeah.
But he gave me something different. He gave me proof. He gave me an experience that I can only tell you that he withheld something so powerful in my life, which was the birth of my son, where I wasn't able to feel what I knew that I was supposed to feel in that moment. And when I was in my darkest hour, he brought it to me. And he gave me everything that I was supposed to feel, which was proof that he transcends time, that he is not confined by time, that he knows what you're going to need when you're going to need it.
Yeah.
And he gave me that in that moment in time. So just be patient is my advice to anybody and everybody. If there's something that you want and you desire, and Jay, in your life, I mean, you said in the sauna that day, I just want to grow up. I want a good, fruitful relationship in my life. And you had to go through a whole bunch of stuff, but you had to be obedient.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to turn your life over to him. You had to let go of the wheel. I don't know if you want to speak on it, but where are you at today?
Dude, life is so good. It's so peaceful right now. You know, I spoke about therapy earlier, but that's now. That's right now. I'm 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
With John. And,
hey, that's grown man shit.
Yeah, just to let you know. And that's been so good. I've been able to unpack some things that were hindering me, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like, bro, I didn't become a man until I was 31, right? And in that time, that's that season God really started working. I'm 32 now, but God started working in me. And now God has me in this, now that I'm rooted, now that I'm staying rooted and just plugged in with him, he's taking me through this healing season right now. And I reached out to you and I said, hey, I need his number. Because I know know you worked with him and I know you said he did wonders in your life. So I was like, you know what? Let's unpack some stuff. And I did. And I was able to unpack some things that helped me let go of some things, right? Relationships, right? Cheating on women, not trusting.
Yeah.
God is teaching me how to love right now. And he's teaching me how to love through my kids, man.
Yeah.
There's nowhere in the Bible where it says you are a man of God.
No, you're never an adult.
No, we're children of God.
Yeah, he always looks at us as his children.
After my first session with John, he told me that my kids were going to heal me. He said, you're going to heal, but your kids are going to heal you. And later that week, Q read a verse to me. I can't quote it, you know, but it was on the lines of, when I was a child, I acted like a child. You know, I talked like a child, you know, and so on and so forth. But when I got older, I put childish things away, right? And in the same week, I had John tell me my kids are going to heal me, and I had Q hit me with this verse. And I was like, whoa. And I went home that night, and I just started paying attention to my kids, right? And this is what I know. You know this as a dad, too. Our kids trust us to feed them. Our kids trust us to love them, to put clothes on their back, to put a roof over their head. The list goes on, right? They trust us, right? God is showing me right now the love and the trust that kids have. And now he's showing me that with him. I trust God with my financials. I trust God with my relationships. I trust God with my life, man.
Let's go.
And he's teaching me how to love like a child. And in this whole season, like the woman I'm with now, she's so special to me, man. And she's always been there for me, even when I was wrong, when I did wrong to her, walked away from her, when all she wanted to do was love me. And now that God has me in this healing season right now, he's also teaching me how to love, and he's teaching me how to receive love. Nick, I can't make this up, man. I have never felt this type of love for anybody in my life other than my kids, right? Like, I love this woman so much. Like, I know I'm going to marry her someday now. I was a man that was like, I don't know if I'll get married. But I know now that, I'm going to marry this woman. And it's my daughter's mom, right? And my daughter is so happy, man, to have her mom and dad in the same house. And it's like, I remember it was like last weekend. I came home. I get off early now. I get off at 7. I don't get off at 10 p.m. no more. Like, I make it home for dinner and put kids to bed and stuff now. And it was just us. I didn't have my boys. And I come home and we ate dinner and all that. We're laying on the couch watching a movie. And my daughter curled up on my right side. And Sydney curled up on my left side. And I felt so at peace, bro. And I looked down, I had my daughter to my right, I had my, her to my left. And I was just like, man, I feel so blessed. Right? Like, I feel so blessed, dude. And you guys made me so soft now, bro. I cry about everything, man. But this is and now we're building our relationship, a firm foundation on God. I'm going to share a story with you, and I'm truly not try to cry. It was the other morning, because we've been praying. We pray before we eat. She's been reading the Bible, and just really getting into it. And I make her pray before we eat sometimes. She's like, she still new.
You need
about
to practice, sweetheart.
And I remember the other morning, dude. It was early in the morning. She always wakes up. I get up at 4 to go to the gym, and she always wakes up in the morning and comes and hangs out with me. And this morning, I just rushed it. I went and got in the shower, and I was in the shower, man, and I felt like a presence, right? And I'm like, "Is someone in here?" And then I started feeling like, man, maybe it's the Holy Spirit. He's just like checking on me or something. Like, but the curiosity got to me, so I opened up the curtain, and she's sitting on top of the toilet with her knees around her arm, praying, and I could see tears coming down her face, right? And I just smiled, and I just watched her until she was done, and she looks up at me. She wipes a tear away, and I go, "What were you praying about?" She said, "I'm just so happy." And I just closed the curtain. I was like, "I love you." Close the curtain. And she stayed in the bathroom, and I started crying, man. I was like, wow. And I said, "Hey, can you hear me?" She said, "Yeah." And I just started going in. I put my hands up. I just started praying over us, dude. And I started thanking God. Holy Spirit just took over my body, man. And I got done. I said, "Amen." I looked out at her, and she's just bawling, dude. And I started bawling, and I'm just like, dude. And I posted something not too long ago on my Facebook. I said, I didn't know life could be this good. And God did that for me, man. God did that for me. But it took until I was really rooted in him, man, right?
It took until you were obedient, Jay.
Man.
This is what obedience to God will get for you.
But my kids are happy. I'm happy. My business is going good. God is at the center of our lives now. And it's just like, there's no going back, man. There's no going back. My mom and dad are coming to church now. My brother's coming to church now. I got my family with me. The four of us, right? Like, and it's just amazing, man.
You're turning the light on for other people, Jay.
Bro.
And there is no greater feeling than to be a vessel for God.
Yeah. We had, this week was our second week at Studio One, where we had our Bible study. So I hosting a Bible study at the shop now. It's dope.
Yeah.
It's so cool. The first week was kind of like everybody kind of trying to get, none of us ever did one before. And now we're all coming together. And this last week, I was like, "Hey, who wants to pray us out?" I felt pretty wrong for this. But it was awesome. no one sat down. So I said, all right, we're all praying. There's 5 of us, 6 of us there. And we all praying. You could tell some guys were praying. And it was really uncomfortable.
Super uncomfortable.
But we were all like, oh, man, that was good. You know, we're building that confidence up. But it was just like, yeah, you could tell. You know what I mean? But everybody's getting into it, you know. Everybody's breaking down what they need to break down and bringing it to everybody's asking questions. And dude, it's my first Bible study, man. And it is awesome, dude. We're in Luke right now. And I keep reading ahead. I'm reading ahead.
The Gospel
now,
of Luke is very good.
Very good. There's a lot of wisdom in there too.
Yeah.
You know, God is, so good, man.
Yeah. I've got some questions for you, Jay.
Go ahead.
I've got some dad questions for you.
Okay.
Actually, no, I've got some. I got a little mix of both.
Okay.
So, change, right? God, I wish I could grow up.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody who's going through the same thing right now? God, I wish I could grow up. God, I wish I could make some changes in my life so I could get better. I could get a healthier relationship, that I could break my ties with. How do I want to put this? Repetitive broken relationships with women in my life. God, I wish I could fix myself. What would you, like, you've been through it.
Yeah.
What would you go back and tell yourself in that moment on day one of saying, this is what I want? If somebody gets to that point in their life, what advice would you give them?
Well, in those moments, if I'm being honest, I made myself believe that I had to become this like perfect version before I came to God. So I would just tell guys like that is false.
Yeah.
God wants you at your dirtiest, because that's where he can do the best work, right?
Yeah.
I heard this guy say once about dirt gang, right? Like when you feel like dirt, right? You feel like nothing. People stepping on you, peeing on you, you know, you just dirt, man. But that's where God can do his best work, is in the dirt, man. That's where seeds are planted. That's where real growth happens, is in the dirt, in the ugliness, in the dark, you know? So my best advice for men is just like, God will take you exactly where you are. God will take you exactly how you are. And you don't have to become a perfect version to come to God.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
You know? I
want to add on to that. Do you, I don't remember any part of scripture in the Gospels where Jesus Christ only hung out with like the high society, perfect versions of people. Who did God, when he came to earth, hang out with?
Oh man.
The worst of us.
The worst.
The tax collectors, the thieves, the killers. Who did he change?
All of them.
The worst of us, right? Who did he start with? Yeah. The worst of us.
Dirt gang.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So that's my advice, man.
Yeah. Just because you're not at the most optimal place in your life to show up as a good and holy Christian, that's where God wants you the most.
Yeah.
What's the biggest accomplishment what's the biggest mess this podcast is called Domestic Dad Cleaning Up the Mess, right? So what's the biggest mess that you've cleaned up?
Gosh, man. It always comes back to like God right now, right?
Yeah.
Because that was my mess.
Yeah.
All of it, right?
Yeah. Lack of faith,
but mostly just, man, that's a good one, dude. Because my mess was like over the years, right? Like my mess was just messy. And I don't even know how to answer that, honestly, man, if I'm being truthful.
Yeah.
Because it was over time that God, you know, it wasn't even, God didn't use a mop. He used me as the mop.
Yeah.
To clean up everything. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think just to give you mine, I think mine was my sobriety. I think my sobriety stopped me from ever having a good and healthy, fruitful relationship or being connected to the vine. I think that was always kind of the fog creator right? Like the things that made everything so hard to see in my life, to see the truth that I could become better, right? Like I would drink or I would use, whatever. And that would make me feel less than. It would create shame in my life. Right. And I think that for sure, for me, it was my sobriety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mine was my lust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was the root of a lot of evil in my life, was the lust that I had.
Yeah.
So once he stripped me of that, life started going a lot better.
Yeah.
Once he stripped me of that.
Yeah. It removes shame, right?
Yeah.
And now you can confront the whole time I was an alcoholic, or I still am an alcoholic. I can't sit here and front oh, that never happened, right? But I am made new in Christ.
Yeah.
2 Corinthians 5:17 says that once you're in Christ, the old is gone, the new is here, right? And I can talk about the old. There is a contrast between who I used to be and who I am today.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, I can say that, that it's made me aware of who I was and who I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah. Got some dad stuff. What's your happiest memory as a father?
The one that just pops in my head is having my kids there on my baptism.
Yeah.
Because I have pictures of looking back at the pictures and my youngest boy just having his eyes on me. And that was my big, he got to see me take that step, right? And he tells me he wants to get baptized now, but I'm like, you got to really know, right? But he's like, I want to get baptized, Dad, and I love that.
Yeah, because he has childlike faith.
Yeah, I love that. And he is about it too. Oakland, my 6-year-old, he's about it, man. He loves God. Our favorite saying is trust God, bro. My hat that I got. And every time we do something where it's like, hey, what's the password? He's like, trust God, bro. And it's the cutest thing ever. But, growing up, his life, his favorite song was Jireh. You are Jireh. You are love. He would be in the back seat singing his lungs out, man. And so
when that beat builds and they get loud in that song,
yeah,
I love it.
But him seeing that though, man, and my other son seeing that, my daughter being there, that was one of the proudest moments I ever had, because they knew, even though he's young, but they knew that was something very special. I mean, they could just look out in the crowd, dude. There's thousands of people just watching us do that, man. So they knew it was special, And then when I got to explain it to them, that was even better, But yeah, that's probably one of the proudest moments I have as a dad, man. Yeah.
When you're gone, what do you want your kids to remember the most about you?
One, that I love them dearly. And I would do anything for them. And I always did do everything for them. But most importantly, that I want to be the reason that they believe in God, right? I want to be that reason. And so if there's one thing that I want them to remember me by, is that man was holy, right?
Yeah.
That man was God-driven. He was a God-fearing man. That's what I want.
That's another one Q hit me with that hit me right in the heart. In one of his sermons a couple years ago, he said, I don't know what my kids are going to be when they grow up, whether they're in the WNBA or they're lawyers or doctors, but I do know that at the end of their life, they're going one of two places, heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And it is my job to disciple them so they get to the right place.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. He's good about that.
Yeah. He's so good. He got the punchlines, man.
Yep. Yeah, man, that's all I got, man.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I appreciate you having me.
Man, I appreciate you doing it.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing the good work, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the thing, just to leave on. No matter where you're at in your journey, just know that the guests that I have on this podcast, Jay included, is open to helping people. So should Jay's story resonate with you and you feel like you're going through something and that he may have the answers for you, he's willing to respond to messages. He's willing to help you. That's one of the greatest things about you, Jay. I didn't share that on the podcast, but I want to give you your flowers on this. When I first started coming to the gym, I didn't know how to lift like very well. You know what I mean? I could barely get up the bar with a couple of plates on it. You know what I mean? But you worked with me. You sat with me through the process, through the technique, through all of the things. And when people come to you with a problem and inexperience, you're one of the best teachers and one of the most thoughtful givers in terms of like making sure that people are doing things right. Yeah. You're helpful in that way. And I don't know if that comes from barbering and educating people along the way in that way, or just or just being who you are. I think that's your natural gift, is to be helpful to others. But I got to give you your flowers on that, man. You're one of the best I've ever seen at that. Thank you. If you're struggling and Jay's story resonates with you, feel free to reach out to him, because that's the agreement that all my guests agree to when they come on this podcast, because at some point somebody's going to reach out and say, hey, I need help. Yeah. And that's why we created this podcast, to show you that there is a community of men out here, dads out here in this community, ready and willing to help, whatever it may be. Yeah. So thank you, Jay. I appreciate you so much, brother.
Thank you, brother.
All right,
Love
man.
you, man.
Love you too.
If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, I want to thank you with all my heart. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It really helps us out. If you have questions about getting sober, parenting, or personal growth, email Nick at domesticdadproject.com with any questions about cleaning up the messes you've made. And if your question is discussion worthy, we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. Don't forget, you can watch any of these videos uncut and unedited, filmed in my studio from our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Domestic Dad Project. Also, please follow us on Facebook or share this episode on your social media. You can also join our community by grabbing some merch. It means the world to me to know that this podcast is making a difference in someone's life. And if this episode inspired you to get sober or simply become a better version of yourself, you can claim your free 60-minute coaching session by visiting www.domesticdadproject.com. Let's continue supporting each other to break the stigma around dads reaching out for help, to get our lives on track while navigating the obstacles of fatherhood. Until next time, keep cleaning up the mess.